Welcome to EPG Padashala. My name is Dr. Ashita. I'm Director, Center for Women Studies, St. Anne's College for Women, Hyderabad. Today we are going to discuss about the Module 24 titled Women and Partition of India in the paper Women's History. So whenever we look at the partition of India, there are a lot of communal riots. The Indian partition led the uprooting and dislocation of people and witnessed the rape, abduction and widowhood of thousands of women on both sides of newly formed borders. When we look at the research on the partition of India, there are various discussions among the scholars. So for important one is the partition of India is perceived by the nationalist historians as an unfortunate outcome of sectarian and separate politics. And Urvashi Butalia, who is a feminist historian who have done a lot of research on the partition of India from a feminist perspective, she argued that the partition is not a closed chapter of history, but it's a brutal political geography infused and individual still. Then another scholar, Nonika Datta, argued that the aggressive territorial nationalism succumbed to the social and political forces leading to partition. And then another famous scholar, Gayan Pandey, pointed out that the meaning of independence was constructed by many ordinary people is the bloodshed partition. Periodic riots mimic partition riots, and separation of Pakistan from India continues to reverberate through Indian society. And now we are going to discuss about the women's experience in the partition of India, because when we look at the women's history, we are always facing the problem is the lacking of the written records about the women. So the feminist historians argued that the oral history method is the best method for doing a research on women. So they use the women's memory is to construct the women's history. So here, because they found the written records excluded the experience of the women. So now they use the oral history method and they recorded the memory and narratives of women to reconstruct the gender history of partition of India. The narratives of these women took them as the subject of the study about the partition of India, because the feminist historian placed women as the central theme of their work. When we focus about the women's history and partition, the other documents did not focus on the experience and story of women during the partition, and they use the personal interviews and narratives of the women, and which reveal that actually what happened to them, then what kind of experience they were faced in their life. Then these narratives of the women victims construct the women's history of women during the partition actually. And when we look at this narrative of these women, we can see a very different voice from the male victims, because women were the worst victims of the communal riots, because the statistics reports showing that an estimated 75,000 to 1 lakh women were abducted by the members of other religious communities to be raped and murdered and sold into prostitution or forced into marriage. And again, this narrative showed that the women are the victims of honor killing, and they were either killed by their own family members or forced to commit suicide. So when we look at the experience of women in the partition, and it's always related to the common notion regarding the women's body and purity of the community. because the women were considered as the keepers of the purity of their family and the particular religion and the particular caste. The polluted female body dishonors the community and religion. So they were killed by their family to save them from the attack of the man belonged to other community. So when this is the same phenomenon happened during the partition of India, because a large number of women were killed by their family to save them from the attack of the man belonging to other community. Otherwise the women were committed suicide by the fear to be raped and polluted their body and community. So we can see there is a relationship between this kind of notion regarding the purity of female body and a particular community or a state. We could see a lot of public parading of nude women, amputation of their breast, tattooing with religious symbols, and gang rape also. So this amputation of breast and the cultural construction of ideal motherhood is very much noticeable here, because these women in a society, the women were treated as primarily sacrificed mother. So the bearer and nurturers of the sons of the religion and community, because when we look at the nation and woman is always considered as the mother, and her prime duty is to produce sons to the family and nation. Another thing is also what happened to the raped woman after this communal violence, because the female body is always considered as it should be pure. So the raped female body considered as polluted and a dishonor to her religion and community. And the another thing is that also the feminist historians noted that the women were the passive agents of the resistance. So during the partition, the bodies of women became privileged sites on whose surface the political programs of both states were brutally inscribed. So this all indicated the operation of a patriarchal ideology related to female body in the society. When we look at the nature of the violence against women during this period. Then another questions that after this violence, how two nations rehabilitated the women victims, because the society now, the independent India and Pakistan, two nations were formed. Then how India rehabilitated these women victims, because most of these women lost their family members in the riots. So when we look at the rehabilitation of women victims from the nation side, there are a lot of the government set a lot of various transit camps, and government opened the relief centers, rehabilitation homes. Okay, then the state took an initiative to open the vocational training centers were set up for the rehabilitating these women victims of the partition. Another important initiative from the government side is a women's section under the guidance of prominent women social workers was set up by the Ministry of Relief and Rehabilitation. Then there are a lot of cooperative societies were set up and loans granted to these women to have some to learn some skilled courses for their survival. And during this period, it's very much interested. We can see the roles of women is also changed. We can see a new role of the women. The women became the breadwinners of their family because of the absence of the male family members. So some of the social taboos related to women have temporarily taken in the absence of male head of the household, for the instance traditional image of the widowhood. And we can see this from the other point of view. This is imposed a double burden of the woman. Then when we look at this rehabilitation of the women, rehabilitation of Indian, the rehabilitation of these women victims of the partition, there is an agreement came up between the India and Pakistan government, that's called Inter-Dominion Agreement on December 6, 1947. According to this agreement, the government decided to exchange the women victims in between the India and Pakistan, because the now some of the women, some of the it's there is a because they started to restore the abducted women to their homes. In India, Mridula Sarabhai was appointed as the chief social worker of this mission. In the violence, many women were uprooted. So but what I found the most worst part of this Inter-Dominion Agreement is that these women were not given choice to whether go back to home or stay in the new land. Because some of the women already found their new life, but they are also compelled to go back to their family. So then the another notion is also there. When we look at the attitude of the family towards these women, they were not accepted by their family in the name of honor, because the family considered that these women who are raped are considered as a dishonor to their family and their community. So so the family also not welcome these women. And then the another side is most of these women found new family and they were forcefully sent back to their homeland, and they were compelled to leave their husband and children. So this also these women could not they were not allowed to take their children with them. So they were undergone a emotional trauma. And again the scholars reported that these women who were rejected by the family committed suicide again, because they could not, they didn't have a space. The Inter-Dominion Agreement for restore the abducted women and forceful exchange of these women between India and Pakistan, perceived by the feminist scholar as an exchange between goods. So then the another argument by the feminist research that the state always considered the female body as a property and it should be owned. Because the state is considered, it's like the female body, it's like a property. And this is the forceful restore of the abducted woman by the state proved the notion that woman's body is a territory that should be conquered. This is a very important argument by the feminist historians who have done on the research on this area, because they consider that the woman's body, it is a territory that should be conquered. When we look at this restoration policy of abducted women from India and Pakistan, women who were sent back to their family were rejected. Then abducted and raped female body considered as polluted in the public view. So the polluted female body destroyed the honor of the family and community. So the family also, some of the family did not welcome these women. And the children in the intermixed union were not accepted by both nations. because the both countries doesn't allow these women to take their children to their motherland. Then these abducted women and their children were regarded as the symbol of dishonor to both family and community. So again they are forced to commit suicide. And these women were not given any space in both family and community, and they were again victimized by the cultural construction of the women in the society. It's very important we should look at how a woman is culturally constructed. And there were no attempt to restore any men. Then it's very important when we look at the restoration policy, we can't see there were no attempt to restore any men to their family from the nation side. It shows the attitude of the state towards the women. Here state exchange only women, that too as goods, without considering their wish and feelings. Both states never bothered about their restoration of men, but they want their females back. Then they never ask the wish and willings of these women. And when we look at the violence during the period of riot, it's very evident that gendered violence occurred. The women were either killed by their family or killed themselves. Another notion is that the women were the passive recipients of the violence, and they were not given any choice to show their feelings in the matter of migration and restoration also. And the women were compelled to kill themselves or killed to secure the honor of the religion. Here the women were the main victims of this kind of communal violence. Then abducted women were rejected as their body was polluted through the sexual intercourse with the man belonged to other community. So the taboos regarding the female body, this is the polluted body, the polluted female body, that is also much evident when we look at the experience of this woman in the Indian partition. The notion of the masculinity and the honor justify the rape and abduction of large numbers of women. So there is we can see when we look at the communal violence, it's always a lot of gang rape will happen, because the gang rape is always connected to the masculinity. So this construction of masculinity and femininity also became a reason behind the abduction and rape of women in the partition. Let me to conclude, when we look at the experience of women during partition of India, it's all related to the social and cultural construction of female body in the society. Because the experience of these women during the partition is linked to the cultural construction of the female body, because the cultural construction of the women nurture the myth of the vulgarity of female body. The religion and the state were the main perpetrators of this fetish of female body, and they maintained their power in the society through the control over the female body. Because when we look at the gang rape of the women by the other religious people, that also showed that the notion of the female body related to the purity of a particular community and nation. Then again, when we look at the restoration of the women, also showed that the attitude of the state, then how the state perceive women and their body in a patriarchal society. It is very much clear that during the partition, the women were raped and abducted, then they were murdered. It's very noticeable, and the rioters regarded the bodies these women as the protectors of the purity of the community, and they aim to destroy the other religion community through the pollution of female body through abduction and rape. After the riot, the recovery operation of the state viewed the female body as the territory that should be conquered, and they perceived the female body as a territory, as a land that should be conquered. The painful and unique experience of these women during the partition very much related to the cultural construction of women, which rooted in a gendered society. The nature of the violence against women during the partition of India, in the form of this rape, abduction, and the forceful restoration, showed the link between the cultural construction of the female body and the nations, because when we look at the experience of this experience of these women in during the partition, the rape is always related to the honor, especially in the gang rape, because the restoration policy of these countries, they showed that they demand only the women. Then the countries did not allow the women to take their children along with them. So these nations considered these newborn children, considered the newborn children is a threat to their masculinity and honor of the nation. This is very clear that there is a very general notion that the nation is always maintain their masculinity through controlling the sexuality of women through their reproductive capacity. So this is very much clear that so when the women were raped and when they were aparted from their family, the nation considered that the women like goods, but they have lost. So they tried to regain their honor through the restoration of women to the restoration of their women, but at the same time they don't want to take their inborn children to the men belong to the other nation. So these all showed the cultural construction of women in the cultural construction of women and female body. Female body in the society is that they all consider that the woman as a territory or as a goods or as a purity and the purity and honor of the particular nation. Thank you.